Hi, this is Tina. It's been about a week or so since I've been able to make a video. Zachary and I have been recovering from our impetigo. We both had skin infections on our face. His was under his nose, and then I got it, and it was around my mouth, and both of ours spread a little bit. That stuff is so contagious. Zachary's finished his antibiotics, his medication. I think he's pretty much cleared up, and I'm still taking my antibiotics, and I'm mostly clear. I got a little bit left. Um, this morning was a really, really, really bad morning with Zachary. He woke up early, about 5:40, and he was probably hungry, and he hasn't been sleeping at night much. Like last night, even though I put him to bed at 8 p.m., he was still making noises at midnight. So he is like staying up for hours in his bedroom and not going to sleep like he should. And so he got up at 5:40 this morning, and like I said, I think he was hungry. He was, just acting kind of, not like himself. He was kept trying to aggressively put his chin on my arm or on my hand, on my body, and dig it into my arm or hand or body, wherever it is he was putting it. And he once he starts doing that, his OCD kicks in, and like that's all he's going to continue to try to do. And when I wouldn't let him do that, he was getting angry with me and getting more obsessive and compulsive about wanting to chin me. And so when I wouldn't let him do that, then he was trying to headbutt me, and this went on for a while. And then, he said that he wanted to eat some macaroni and cheese. And I'm like, fine, you want macaroni and cheese for breakfast? That's fine, if that'll make you happy. And so he ate. But before that, he took his medication. And because he was acting up while taking his medication, because he kept trying to chin me and headbutt me, he swallowed his valproic acid or Depakote wrong, and then started coughing a lot. And he was coughing while he was eating his macaroni and cheese, coughing while I was getting ready for school, coughing while we were waiting for the bus, all that stuff. So after he ate, he laid down for 15 minutes, and I thought, oh, this is nice, peace. I had to get him up and get him ready for school so he wouldn't miss the bus. And then he started trying to chin me and headbutt me more, and pinching me and screaming at the top of his lungs when I wouldn't let him do it, because he is about 5 foot tall now, and the last time we went to the doctor, he weighs like 105 pounds, so he's almost my size. He's just gonna be there like really quick, and if he's trying to headbutt you and pinch you and chin you, you have to keep him at more than an arm length's distance, or he's going to be doing these things to you. And I couldn't keep him away, and as I was trying to keep him away, he was screaming, and just it was making him more OCD about getting to me, and trying to do the things that I was trying to keep him from doing, because it hurts when he does that, and also it escalates once he does it, and he'll do it 50,000 times to me. And I've had bruises on me from him chinning me and head-butting me, and at some points kicking me in the face and breaking my tooth off. And I just didn't want things to escalate. And I didn't want to get hurt, and I didn't want him to get hurt. So this morning was just a nightmare. And I warned his teacher. I sent her an email and just explained everything and told her if he's coughing, he's not sick. That he had swallowed his medication wrong when he was acting up, so they wouldn't think it had anything to do with the coronavirus or anything. Right now, I know a lot of people are freaked out, and I didn't want them to, immediately call and send him home thinking he's sick. And it was just, his throat was irritated because he had swallowed that medicine wrong, because he was acting up when I was trying to give it to him. It's liquid medicine, so, and the fact that it was valproic acid, it probably is a little bit acidic. And, if you swallow that, it goes down the wrong tube or the wrong place, it's probably going to, irritate the lining of, whatever that is that's going down. Anyway, this morning was just a really bad day. And this is why I make the videos that I make, and this is why I warn people, because if someone had warned me 10 years ago or 9 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago, about vaccines and the dangers of them and what can happen, and the hell that your life's going to be once your child is severely disabled by vaccines. I wouldn't have started vaccinating my son, or I would have stopped immediately. But unfortunately, I didn't find the people who were warning about them till after Zachary was already affected by them, and I had already been disabled by them as well, by a tetanus vaccine. Um, I've been researching a lot of stuff, not necessarily on the topic of vaccines or anything like that. I need to get back to my documentary list, but I've been doing a lot of research on a bunch of other topics, truth topics. Not anything I'm going to discuss here, but I am going to get back to my truth documentaries, and as I watch them, I'll discuss them in my videos. But another subject I kind of wanted to talk about that I've been thinking about a lot lately is when you have a child that's severely disabled by vaccines, or even if it wasn't vaccines, even if it was just your child was born that way, although my son wasn't. Um, about how difficult it is to be around other families or other couples that have children that are normal and do normal things that children their age do, whatever age they are, whether they're little toddlers or they're in grade school or they're in middle school or high school. um, Really, I guess, I'm going to start back. I think I've told most of y'all that I didn't have my son Zachary until I was older. So for many many years, when I was married to my ex husband for we were together almost 18 years. I didn't have any children. My dogs were my babies, and I was happy to have my dogs. I loved them more than life itself. But all those years, I wanted a baby really badly, and um, eventually my younger sister ended up having two beautiful sons, my nephews Landon and Logan. And when they were little, it was back then it was difficult to be around them because it would make me cry, simply because I wanted a baby so badly, and my sister, who was significantly younger than me, had a baby, or had two babies eventually. And, I was still, unfortunately, fighting, every night of my marriage with the love of my life about, wanting to have the baby I prayed for 20 years. And so it was, back then I had different circumstances financially, and I was able to help and buy things and gifts for my sister and my nephews Landon and Logan. And I did that, and I'm happy about the fact that I did that, but I didn't get to spend much time with them. I was a pet sitter, and I was obligated with my time a lot for my clients and the pets that I had obligated to, take care of their babies while they're out of town or traveling for their job or whatever. But also, it was just hard to be around Landon and Logan, even though I loved them a lot and I wanted to see them. I mean, I loved being around babies, but at the same time, it was hard because when you want a baby so much and then you're around these babies, it just makes you cry. But um, even after I had Zachary, and after he became disabled, after those, or in the process of getting those 40 vaccines, as he was slowly poisoned, basically. Um, Now I would love to see my nephews, but there's a couple things. First of all, I can't travel with Zachary. I'm basically confined to my home. Sometimes I can't even get out and go shopping. But also, as much as I love Landon and Logan, um, it's difficult to be around people, whether it's family or just friends that have normal kids, because it hurts. It hurts, and it makes me cry to be around people who have normal kids that talk and carry on conversations with their moms and dads, and they do normal activities that however old they are. Like my nephew's in middle school, and I think Landon is in early high school, he's fixing to be. But basically, they're real into sports and they are excellent at all the sports they play and very smart and academically do well and everything. And it's, I love to hear about all their accomplishments and everything, and I'd love to see them play sports, but unfortunately, I can't. But at the same time, it's also difficult because as you're seeing, or if you're watching them play sports, or seeing, or even hear about it, reading about all their accomplishments, you sit there and look at the fact that your son, that's maybe 5 years younger than your youngest nephew, should be doing some of these things. Maybe not as good, not to the level that they are, but Zachary should be playing sports. Zachary should be, talking about girlfriends and playing video games and going into school dances and when he gets a little bit older, going to proms and things like that. And he just isn't. Zachary lives in a world of his own. He cannot talk even when it's like urgent or emergency. He can't even tell me, what's bothering him. Like earlier this morning, like exactly what the issue is. Why did he feel like he needed to headbutt me and chin me and scream when he couldn't, and then pinch and try to hurt me. It's like I feel like he's trying to tell me something, but I don't know what he's trying to say. And my son doesn't have friends. My son doesn't get fun things that are age appropriate for birthdays and Christmas. He doesn't, go meet friends and see movies. He doesn't have any friends. He doesn't, he just is in a world of his own most of the time. And he's, with his OCDs, constantly, waterfalling small toys. Like I've said on many videos, a lot of all his toys basically are toddler and baby toys. He's got a leapfrog leap pad. We've been through, I want to say 4 or 5 of those because he wears them out because he uses them so much. But it's really difficult when you have a child like this, and I don't have any other children like. I don't have a normal child. I've only got Zachary. He was normal, but the 40 vaccines severely disabled him and made it where his mind is disabled. He cannot talk to me or anyone else. He wants to be by himself, doing obsessive compulsive things, whether it's turning a light switch on and off 50,000 times or touching the door facing or the toilet lid or whatever it is that he gets fixated on. He, touching that 50,000 times, and no matter what you say or do, you can't get him to stop doing whatever it is. And it's a very stressful life. It's very despairing, depressing, distressing, sad. Um, so when I see normal kids, telling their parents jokes and, playing sports and, running a touchdown or, hitting the home run in baseball or, whatever it is that they're doing, I just wish that that could be Zachary. I wish that he could do some things that he could be good at and that would have positive effects on his body, on his health. um, but instead, we're locked inside of our house, or when the summer comes we will be locked in our backyard because he has his above ground pool that he'll spend a lot of time in, and he's got his trampoline that sometimes he likes to go get on and jump on. But it's just really hard to be around and to see other children that do normal things. And then you look at your child who's 10, and he's bigger than most 10-year olds, but he's doing the things that like a toddler would do, or a baby, depending on what we're talking about. And I feel really badly. Obviously, since Zachary's been born, and since splitting up with my ex-husband, my finances have been completely different. So I haven't been able to buy Landon and Logan the kind of gifts that, I used to or I would like to. I mean, some holidays, I don't even have enough money to buy Zachary gifts because all of our money is spent on his therapies and his doctor's appointments and his the things that you have to buy, like, straw sippy cups because he's chewing the straws up, pull ups because he's still not 100% potty trained. You have to buy, just these special things that you don't normally have to buy for a 10-year-old child. And so, that's where all the money goes. And sometimes I don't have money to buy him a present when it's birthdays and Christmas and things like that. And sometimes I do. And sometimes the only way I have it is because friends, kind friends that are close to me on Facebook, friends that have watched Zachary grow up is the only way that he gets things. Sometimes his grandmother sends gift cards or order stuff on Amazon or whatever. Um, but anyway, I think I'm getting low on time with all the stuff I'm seeing going on in the world. I know not everybody's not a Christian or whatever, and you don't have to be, but I just feel like we're running out of time on this earth. And so I doubt my nephews would see this, but I just want to apologize to them that I haven't been able to be a better aunt to them. I wish that I could have been years ago when they were littler, and I wish I could have spent more time with them and got to be closer to them. But I was dealing with my own issues, unfortunately, and now I'm still dealing with my own issues, and I'm dealing with my disabled son's issues. And I want to let Landon and Logan know I'm really proud of everything they do, of all their academic accomplishments and all their many sports accomplishments. I mean, both of them can play multiple sports really well, and I think that's awesome. I'm proud of them, and I know everybody else in the family is as well. But it's just difficult whenever your everything you dreamed about for 20 years when you wanted a baby and a child, everything, all the hopes and plans and dreams that you had for that baby and child, like the rug was just pulled out from underneath me by a vindictive, insidious, evil um, corporations, vaccine manufacturers, pharmaceutical industry, and the medical industry in general. Um, they they killed every hope and dream I had for my son. I mean, my son cannot even tell me he loves me or, mommy, I want you to come do this with me, or I want you to see this, or I want you to come, hear this that I just heard, or whatever. And um, it feels hopeless. It has felt hopeless for so many years because I gave up years ago, hoping and wishing, and praying that he was going to get better, that God was going to miraculously heal him or give me a way to heal him, and I would give God all of the credit and all the glory. And I still pray it every day, but it just hasn't happened. And it just, when you don't have anything to look forward to, and you basically are trapped in your home, you can't go anywhere, you can't visit anybody, you can't sometimes even get to the store to buy things that you've run out of or you need, because if I take him, there's a 50-50 chance he's going to have a meltdown. And, I'm going to have people talking shit, pardon my language, talking shit about me while I'm sitting there trying to deal with a crisis and not let it escalate into something where the police get called or something. So, I mean, he doesn't always act up in public, but there's always that chance. And he's getting so big that I worry. I don't want myself or him or anybody else to get hurt, and I don't want the police to get called, because you read about these articles all the time about things being misconstrued and them, you know, using tasers on these, severely autistic, disabled grown children, or some of them getting shot because they don't understand what it is they're dealing with, and the grown child is not, doing whatever it is they're telling them to do. Anyway, I know this isn't going to be one of my best videos, but I just basically wanted to let you know what's been going on. I wanted to say something about the difficulties of, being around friends or family that have normal children, and, how it hurts people like us, because it's a reminder of all our hopes and dreams that died years ago. It's a reminder of, what we've cried about every day and every night for 9, 10, 11, 12, 20 years, however many years, depending on who you're talking about and how old your kid is. Anyway, it's been a stressful day. Started off stressful, and it just usually ends that way too. Please keep Zachary and me in your prayers, and we love everybody. And we thank you for caring about and loving us. And again, I just want to let my nephews Landon and Logan know that I really love them and I'm proud of them. And for sure, I'll get to know them better when we get to heaven. And I'm sorry I couldn't do that while you spend more time with them while I was down here. But keep me and Zach in your prayers. We need it. Goodbye.